All right, what's up, college football fans, quarterback fans, SEC fans? Welcome to the Quarterback Spotlight video. Today we're talking about new Arkansas offensive coordinator Bobby Petrino and new quarterback Taylen Green and how that fit could potentially play out for Arkansas in the 2024 season. If this is your first time tuning in the QB Spotlight channel, we spend a lot of time over the quarterback position, specifically quarterbacks in the SEC and just quarterback storylines, specifically the SEC. And we also have our season 2 of the podcast coming up. That'll be starting here in the next few weeks, where we have quarterback coaches, current and former quarterback coaches, and current and former quarterbacks come on and share this quarterback stories and just kind of share their experiences and let us see some behind the scenes type stuff. So you like the quarterback position, or any of this is interesting to you, please just consider subscribing to the channel. So with that said, I know I'm a little late with the Bobby Petrino news, right? And the Talen Green news and everything, but I do want to give a few minutes to talk about why these changes happen and what we can potentially look forward to. So when it comes to Bobby Petrino, I'm not going to claim I know all this like insider scoop or information about the Arkansas program, but I think it's easy to look at his track record, right? If you just gave me one kind of sentence to describe Bobby Petrino and his offensive philosophy in developing quarterbacks, it'd be something along the lines that Petrino can take any quarterback with any skill level and surround an offense around it and make that offense fit the quarterback, as opposed to trying to make the quarterback fit the offense. I think that was the problem with Arkansas last year. They were trying to make the offense, or trying to make the quarterback fit the offense, as opposed to making the offense fit the quarterback. And another quote that he kind of makes popular is you call plays for your playmakers. You call plays to get them the ball, right? So we're going to get to Talen Green here in a second, but the fact that Petrino's there, and there's again a lot of opinions about why they burn back or this and that, but the man knows offense. The man knows how to develop quarterbacks, and I don't put the A&M situation necessarily on him. He even came on and said like he was pretty much running Jimbo's offense. That's almost like a mulligan, right? So let's go look at some of the quarterbacks that he's coached that has had drafted. Of course, Lamar Jackson, Heisman, first-round pick. Brandon Doughty at Western Kentucky, 7th-round pick. Tyler Wilson, Ryan Mallett, of course, guys at Arkansas, 3rd and 4th-round picks. Brian Brom and Stephon LaFors at Louisville, all different types of quarterbacks. Several pocket guys, and then of course Lamar Jackson, a totally different type of offense that he ran early on at Arkansas or Louisville. Even Jason Shelley, was it Missouri State? Southwest Missouri State, somewhere, right? The Missouri State school that almost beat Arkansas. Even Jason Shelley, he transferred from Utah to Utah State, was bouncing around, couldn't find a home, wasn't having much success. Comes to Missouri State and has a great season. I think he set the records, or had several records at Missouri State in 2021 with Petrino on staff. And obviously, it's a lower level school, but still, even as of a few years ago, Petrino was dialing up plays and making his quarterback better. What was it? Some crazy stat. Yeah, 16 of the past 20 seasons that he ran the offense, they've averaged 400 yards or more on offense before Texas A&M. Again, Texas A&M is kind of being a omission. So the scheme that he has, the scheme that he brings in, and for example, Arkansas last year only had 326 yards per game that they averaged. Not very good. But the scheme that Petrino brings in isn't just a one-size-fits-all approach, or it's not just like a one scheme. It's changed, right? A lot of coaches that are set in their ways that don't change end up maybe not reaching the full potential that a coach could have, or reach, or allow the player to kind of pull out the full potential. But Petrino's offensive scheme has changed over the years, largely depending on the QB, right? It's been kind of West Coast-ish at times, where you're under center, and it's transitioned to more RPOs over time. But it's about making it simple for quarterbacks and making their reads simple and helping the quarterbacks get the ball to the playmakers. That's what it's all about. Try to keep it simple, right? So I think with that said, with Petrino coming in, I think that's kind of the scheme. Try to keep it simple, get the ball to the playmakers, make the offense fit what your quarterback has. So with that said, let's talk Taylen Green, because I've talked to several Arkansas fans, and I tend to agree, but I do think Green has some potential. But I've talked to several Arkansas fans and people, and their kind of sentiment of the whole situation is, you know what, I don't know who Taylen Green is. He didn't play that good at Boise State, but I trust Bobby Petrino. He knows a lot more about offense than me, and that's kind of where I lie in. Like, Petrino obviously honestly, I shouldn't say obviously, but Petrino was able to get a quarterback that he liked, that he thought could run the system he wanted to run, and that happened to be Taylen Green. So I trust Petrino's ability to evaluate quarterbacks when he wants than mine, right? But let's look at Talen Green. Then we'll talk about why Green. So let's talk about the 2021-2022 season, right? So past 2 seasons, he started the majority of the games for Boise State. This year got benched a little bit, or going back and forth, and they were actually going to go with the other guy, I believe, and the name slips my mind. But that guy got hurt, so Green came back in, actually finished the season really strong, had a great game against UNLV in the Mountain West Championship. But it was pretty up and down. In 2 seasons, he had 44 total touchdowns, 15 interceptions, over 1,000 yards rushing, and 3,794 yards passing. And the biggest thing about Green in these past 2 years was he showed flashes of being really, really good. In 2022, he showed enough flashes. I was really excited for him this past season. I thought he was going to be one of the best quarterbacks in all of 2023 for all of the Group of 5, and I was wrong. There's a lot to like about him, and admittedly, I'm biased. Green's from Texas. We're in Texas, so I was a little bit biased. But I was pretty high on him coming in the 2023 season. Season didn't go how he wanted to go, didn't go according to plan. He still finished the year strong, but I'm also willing to kind of remember that the Boise State coaching staff got fired midway through the season or later on in the season, and they still won the Mountain West Championship. But it kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier in the video, where if a quarterback doesn't fit a system, you need to change it. So I'm willing to be open that, hey, maybe that system just wasn't very, very good for Green. It just didn't fit him, right? Regardless, with that said, still didn't have a great year. So why Green? Why Talen Green? I think a few reasons. I think the potential is there, and I think the biggest thing for Petrino is the flashes that Green showed. If you can get those flashes to be the consistent play, then you hit a home run. But you have to get those flashes to be a consistent play. It can't just be flash, right? It has to no longer be a flash. It has to be, hey, that's what he does week in and week out. Number 2, I think his mobility is going to help mask some of the offensive line problems, assuming they don't get fixed. I'm assuming, of course, they're going to try to, but I think Green's mobility, he was only sacked 14 times the past 2 seasons at Boise State, and a lot of that was because he was mobile, was able to get outside the pocket. And he's a different athlete than KJ. KJ's a great athlete in his own right, but Green is probably going to be a bit more dynamic at the top speed, a bit quicker, probably a bit faster in that first step, maybe a bigger burst. So he's probably going to be able to avoid pressure. Now against the SEC, it's a bit different than Mountain West, but still, Green's ability and then Petrino's ability to adapt the offense, I think, can hopefully mask any offensive line issues. Then one thing that he did show well, Green, was the ability to push the ball downfield, right? Of course, he's a good athlete. We just talked about that. Over 1,000 yards rushing in 2 seasons. Good athlete. He has a strong arm to push the ball downfield. That's something Arkansas did not do very much of at all last year. The past 2 seasons, again, playing the majority of the time, but still, not starting all the games and being on the bench. Sometimes the past 2 seasons he did have over 30 completions where the ball was thrown 20 yards or more downfield. So I think the ability to spread the field, I think, is something Arkansas really needs. But with that said, I think it's a fair question to wonder, like, why Green still, though. I think it's a fair question to not, I don't know, I shouldn't say not be excited, but I think it's fair to be skeptical about it. A few reasons. I think accuracy is a fair question. In 2022, he was a 61% completion percentage passer, and then he was down to 57% this year. So down a little bit. But with that said, if you look at the adjusted completion percentage, it was at 65, so it's actually a fair difference. There were several drops that Green had. So not elite range by any means, but I don't think he was as inaccurate as maybe the numbers show. With that, I'm still so open to knowing that, hey, Petrino knows way more than I know about football. He likes Green's tool set, obviously. The ability to run, I think, is huge for a quarterback, and what Petrino's trying to do right now to mask the offensive line issues and to kind of steal some yardage and then push the ball downfield. So I think if Green's average, if Green's average, great. If Green's really good, then Arkansas has a chance. But I think if Green's only average, then I think Arkansas's offense can have some success, but the team not still be great, if that makes sense. There's other issues in just the quarterback position that I think Arkansas will need to address to really take that next step and have a successful season, right? But that's a whole different video, and people smarter than me in Arkansas football can talk about that. But just from a quarterback standpoint, Petrino, Talen Green, if you can get Green to have these flash moments become the consistent play, then you have a shot and you have a chance. I still think it's a tall task. You got a lot of good, hard schedule and good teams that you're going to be playing against the SEC. And it can be hard to get Green's play out of your mouth from this past year, even though he did do some good things. There's up and down. But again, Petrino, way better coach than Will would be. He knows exactly what he's doing, so it's going to be interesting to see, right? So we're going to see how that marriage kind of ends up. But with that said, Arkansas fans, SEC fans, quarterback fans, what do you think about Talen Green? Can you see the point of view that, hey, if he hits, he can be really good? Like, is that reasonable, right? Can you see that point of view? And then to your overall thoughts of Petrino. And we'll be covering this quarterback situation in more detail as spring camp comes about. We're still a ways away from spring camp, but they want to come out and just touch base on it. We're going to be spending a lot more time over every quarterback room in the SEC. So if that's your cup of tea, please follow along, share, subscribe, like the video. Again, let us know your thoughts in the comments below about Green, Petrino, and all that Arkansas quarterback stuff. With that said, we'll see you next time. Peace.